before, when I got money, I wanted to spend it. The first thing I was going was to the store or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's like really the most important thing, and that's what people miss. People just try to teach us the concept, but we don't care about that. If I still want to get the sneakers, I don't care about the stock market makes you rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
I want to do what make me look rich. That's how they're thinking. So you have to shift the mindset first. I think like that's the most important part.
New York, D-Town, LA, NO, Florida, Mississippi, KC, MO, Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Chi-Town, Tennessee, Carolinas, Alabama, Oakland, St. Louis, Detroit, Atlanta. Show 'em what you stand for.
What up, everybody? This is the KCMO podcast. Once again, coming back at you for another new season. This is season 3 for us getting started. And for those of you that follow us, you may notice a little something different. We're missing one of our integral pieces to the podcast. My co-host, Frank the Tank, is absent tonight. Fortunately, he had a little family emergency he had to tend to. So we're praying that things go well. But the show must go on, so we're going to push through and start this thing off. And we have our first guest of the season. I met at Investfest back in the ATL a few weeks ago, I guess.
Yep.
And I found her very interesting and wanted to have her on the podcast. So I'd like to welcome Miss Aaliyah Duah. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm feeling good, feeling great. Yes.
Now, Aaliyah, tell me, where are you located anyway?
Brooklyn, New York. That's where I'm originally from. I went to school in Virginia, and after I graduated, I came back home to New York. Yes, so I'm stationed here.
Brooklyn. I like that. In the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, like I said, we met at Investfest back in ATL. That was my first time going. I don't know about you. It was my first time going. I was very impressed with it. I had a great time. I wanted to get what your thoughts were on the whole Investfest and the whole vibe.
I definitely think Investfest is an amazing experience, and I definitely think it was something that was needed, especially amongst our culture, just to see like all the Black and brown people that are in one space, for like something that is not a concert, is not catered towards, just somebody like, you know what I'm saying?
It's sports.
Exactly. It's business, it's entrepreneurship, it's financial literacy, right? So to see what Earn Your Leisure was able to do and to bring that many people, I think is just like such an amazing experience. And the booths, right? The different businesses that are there, the people who are there to learn. And also like I went there the very first year, right? So the very first time they did it. So just to see like the growth is so inspirational and inspiring to see like, all right, like you can really start something, and this is a potential that something has when it's really good, and just to see how they grew with it. And like first year it was only like 3,000, 4,000 people, which is still a lot of people to have in the space, but right. To see them grow to over 20,000 people, you know what I'm saying? And just to think like how next year is going to be like, it was amazing to me. Yeah.
And so you were one of the day ones that was with them from the start. And yeah. I think I didn't see you speak, but weren't you a speaker at this one this year?
Yes, I was. So I had the opportunity to speak on the podcast stage that was in a vendor's market. So I was interviewed by Anissa Brene. She's a media and TV personality. And basically we just talked about my platform and the different things that I do, and just why the whole financial literacy movement is important.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So speaking of that, so when you approached me, I think at Investfest, you sold me one of these.
Yes.
You sold me your book, The Blueprint for Investing. Yes. So for those of you that don't know yet, Aaliyah is in the financial literacy space. I'm not sure what all you do, but we're going to get into it. So first of all, let's start with this. Aaliyah, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
20 years old. 20 years old. Yes.
20 years old. And if I remember, You're an alum of, is it Virginia State, or are you still
Yes,
going?
yes, Virginia State University.
Okay, HBCU in the house. That's what's
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So you're 20, fresh out of school, and so are you teaching financial literacy, or what are you doing with your get your gift?
So I started Financial Revolution, which is the name of my business, when I was about like 17 years old. I was about a sophomore. It was my sophomore year of college during the pandemic. And the whole goal of Financial Revolution is to teach financial literacy and entrepreneurship to ages 8 to 25 and to be relatable and use media, sports, and all those good things, right, to attract the younger audience. I think a lot of times when we think of financial literacy, we think of people who are a little bit older, or sometimes even if it is financial literacy for kids, it's not delivered in a digestible way, right? So during college, what I was doing was like creating like a whole thing about financial literacy on my campus, making it cool, making it fun, right? Making people really just know, all right, look, this is how I create a budget, or this is what the stock market is, or this is credit, and this is why credit is important. And then I started posting the content as well, like on social media. And then I actually got the opportunity to start teaching in schools. So now I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and I actually have workshops. I travel around the US and I give workshops on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. And I do speaking engagements and just different things like that.
That's dope. That's dope. And one thing to harp back on Investfest I liked was there were people from all ages at the Best Fest. You know, there were children there, you know, middle age, older people, everybody in the house trying to get this knowledge. So for me, it was so eye-opening because let me be honest, when I was your age, I had no intention on saving money. I wasn't thinking about investing or any of that. I didn't get to that later on into life. So for you, who got you into that mindset of investing and financial literacy?
I think it's something that I gradually like grew into. It was like introduced in my household because both of my parents are entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So I did see like the business aspect of like, working for yourself and making money for yourself. Like I used to work at my mom's like flea markets, and I used to like she used to send me to set up the table, make the product, put the labels on the product, and be out there selling at the same time. So like that right there helped me understand the concept of like operating a business, also the concept of selling, right? So that's when I learned how to sell. And then when it came to like stocks and financial literacy, my dad used to, I'm from Brooklyn, right? So I like, clothes and fashion and all that stuff. And my dad used to always tell me like, none of that means anything. Like, not like, go invest your money. You could put your money into, you could buy the company, you could own a company. Why just wear their shoe? Like, what does that do for you? But as a young kid, that's going in one ear, out the other, especially when all my friends is rocking the fly stuff. So I'm like, I don't care about anything you're saying. But it wasn't until the pandemic, right, where I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I was like, oh, wait, like I just had like a shift in my whole entire mindset where I was like, oh, like you can do this with your money, you can do that with your money. And I'm just like, wow, I've never learned this. And then I was just, it opened my mind so much that I was hungry for more information. So that's when I started reading Think and Grow Rich. I started listening to Earn Your Leisure. I started like just paying attention to the information that I was putting in. And then of course, like the conversations I was having started to change. And then the things that I desired to do and the things that I valued also changed as well. So like that's what really introduced me into financial literacy, the pandemic.
Okay, okay. So you're from New York. Your parents were both entrepreneurs. So you're a natural born hustler, of course. But then you also had the smarts to start reading and seeking knowledge, which is this is different. You know, most most young people, I think you would agree, don't want to hear much people we have to say. I mean, at my age, they feel they know it all already, even though you don't. There's a lot to learn. But I think the crucial thing you just said there was your dad was telling you to do this. You're like, yeah, yeah, whatever, whatever. But then something happened, like the pandemic hit, and you had to sit your ass down for a little bit,
Yeah.
and that forced you to do something different. You read, you start getting this, learn about, like you said, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. So what was the point where you wanted to start teaching this stuff to other people though?
I think like all the time since I was young, anytime I got like, it's a natural human trait. Like whenever you get really good information, you want to share with other people, especially when you know that they don't know about it. Like if I find out a really good food spot and like I know none of my friends know about it, or like it's not a known place and it's low key, I'm like, yo, did y'all hear about this place, or did y'all eat here, or you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like you want people to experience the goodness or the greatness that you have felt or the greatness that you had experienced, right? So I think like that's really what it was. Like once my mind was open, I'm like, yo, like we've never learned this. This is a whole different avenue. And I think, one of the most key things about growing up, everybody for the most part desires to live a great life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody kind of desires to get out of whatever situation they're in, or to have more, or to be able to have no worries, to get, you know what I'm saying, or have wealth. And I think what happens is because we don't know how to do it, and also because if I grew up in a situation where all I've seen was people without wealth or only building wealth a certain way, that's all I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once I figured out like there's a whole nother way, there's a whole nother avenue to building wealth, to getting creating a lifestyle that you want, I wanted to share it with the people that I knew did not know. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole key of why I wanted to teach it, because I'm like, I can impact so many people. Like even when I go into the classrooms, and I guess like my main key thing is I'm still me, right? So I'm still going to talk how I talk. I'm not going to go corporate on you. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to start wearing suits everywhere if that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay me. Yeah. And I think that was like my key thing. Like I can really take this and impact a whole amount of people who are usually forgotten because they don't come from a certain place or have certain opportunities and things like that.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so dope about the Earn Your Leisure whole movement, right? Because we are prosper our environment. We do even like what we see, right? So other cultures have known this kind of stuff for years. They learned it early where we haven't had exposure to it, right? So Earn Your Leisure has now exposed this whole new mindset to people that had no idea or even thought about investing, stocks, opening businesses, the whole nine. So that is key what you said about you want to actually what you've learned, you want to expose others who may not be, getting the same opportunities. So with that, I wanted to ask you, so you're teaching young people, right? Mm-hmm. You said what age group again?
8 to 25.
8 to 25, right? Okay. So I'm going to say, I listen to like EYL, like Market Mondays, right? Every week, with the Master Investor, right? Mm. They throw out stocks to check out, stocks that you should look at. And, some I check out, some I'm like, okay. But some I'll look at, and then just be like 400 a share, 500 a share, that's a lot for some people, for most people. Mm-hmm. So for you, when you talk to these young people about investing, how do you come at them? How do you come over with the objective of you should invest in a stock, but instead of buying some J's, because you guys sacrifice something to 40 stocks and what to invest. So how do you come at these young people?
So I tell them, I'll be honest with them, do both. Like I'm gonna get sneakers and I'm gonna get stocks. Like that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna get what I want and I'm gonna get stocks. I mean, yes, you have to sacrifice and sometimes you got to stay down and come up. But 9 times out of 10, most people aren't going to do that, right? The first time they're introduced to something, because a lot of times it's a condition. Like we're conditioned to get certain things. We're conditioned to want Jordans that come out every Saturday. It's a condition. It's a programming. Right. So when I come and I explain to them, like, why did you want sneakers? Like literally, so my little brother goes to a public school and my little sister goes to a private school. Right. So you already know the demographic is different between those two places.
Right.
So the first day of school at the public school, I see all Black kids with new sneakers. Yeah. When I went to the first day of school at the private school, I see all the white kids, old shoes, dirtied up shoes. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, it's the difference. It's a difference. It's a difference in the mindset. It's not that any kid is less fortunate, because you got to pay to be in private school. It's not that.
Right.
It's the mindset. It's the difference. So when I show them an alternative and I tell them, like, look, you want this shoe because it was designed for you to want it. They market these shoes to you every single day. Yep. They market this phone to you every single day. Right. So when I have those like realistic conversations, and I'm like, we hear it in the music, we see it on TV, we see it when we scroll on timelines, we see it everywhere. So you don't want it, you think you want it. And I tell them, like, I've been there too. Right. And then I just tell them straight up, you may feel like you need it, but you also need stocks too. Right? Because what you're doing is, when you go give these companies your money, you're making them rich. What happens to your family? Because now you're just $200 short, $300 short, but they $200 richer, $300 richer. So when you have those like conversations, and I have them go back and forth with me, and we'll have like real conversations. Like, yeah, I'll have a presentation, but it's really a conversation that we're having. And when we have these conversations in these classrooms, in these spaces, their mindset is being challenged, because now they're learning new things that they didn't even think about before. They didn't even consider that before. Before it was just like, I'm gonna go get these sneakers because that's what everybody else is doing. That's the cool thing to do. That's what's gonna make me cool. So I think like that's my number one way to come off. And also, like, just like I said, do both. You know what I'm saying? Right. Do both. You know, you may have to cut off on the sneakers, but you know, like I'm not going to walk around with holes in my shoes. Like, that's me personally. Right. I'm not doing it. Right. But I'm also not gonna go, like, it was times when I would go broke for some shoes, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because my mindset is different. So I just help them change their mindset so that now what they desire and what they value is different. Because that's the same thing that needed to happen with me. Now when I get money, I'm thinking like, wow, how can I make this money work for me? How can I grow this money? Versus before, when I got money, I wanted to spend it. The first thing I was going was to the store or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's like really the most important thing, and that's what people miss. People just try to teach us the concept, but we don't care about that. If I still want to get the sneakers, I don't care about the stock market makes you rich. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, yeah. I want to do what make me look rich. That's how they're thinking. So you have to shift the mindset first. I think like that's the most important part.
To that point about looking rich, I think it's perception, right? I think, like you said, we get fed via media, whether it's social media, TV, music, movies. We get fed an image of what rich is, and we view that as we need to look a certain way to look rich. Whereas other folks don't care how they look because they got it. They ain't got to show it off. But you know, we're flashy as our culture. We flash anyway, so we like to shine. But you can still shine, but you can be smart with it. You can budget, you know, have some money going here in investments, and have your money to spend. You just have to be able to, it's a mindset, be able to budget, be strategic with your money, and you can still have nice things. You know, it's just about being smart. And that's just not for young folks, for old folks too. Everybody who hasn't. It's the way you think about money. It's like somebody told me a long time ago. How do you view money? That would change how you handle money. You know, you got to think about how you look at it and how you view it, and that will be how you treat it going forward. So, I see you got, you know, your merch on, your shirt, your hat. Yes. So I know you also have a podcast and a YouTube channel, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. What's that about?
Yeah, so I have a show called The Young and Dumb Show. And similar to like what I was just talking about, The Young and Dumb Show, I think a lot of times when we're young, we are ambitious, we want more, we want a better life, but we don't really know the right way to do so, especially in the Black community, right? So with The Young and Dumb Show, I just bring on guests who are career professionals, who are entrepreneurs, and they come and talk. They actually, like, while they're giving me mentorship and telling me, all right, this is how you do boom, 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 that is what you're learning on the show, right? So you're learning how you can actually be successful in any type of industry you want to be successful in. So whether or not it's having a luxury car business, or I had somebody come on who's a photographer for celebrities, right? How to create like a profitable photography business, right? Somebody who's a real estate developer, real estate investor, right? So somebody who is a content creator and also owns a hair business, somebody who owns an actual hair salon and makes 6 figures a year, and she's young, you know what I'm saying? So all these people, and my main target is to bring on young people who are doing well, because now that gets younger people to think like, okay, I can start young, I can do this now, or, you know what I'm saying, I can use these resources. And I also sometimes bring on a little bit older people too, just to show people that, like, to bring in the close the gap we have between older people and younger people. Yeah, like we could get along, we could be cool, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what the Young and Dumb show is about. And it's also, the main goal too is just to show people legal ways to make money and start businesses, and also just different career paths. Like I have a friend who works on Capitol Hill for the government. You know what I'm saying? For the government.
Wait a minute.
But
Wait a minute. I'll just breeze by that real fast, like it ain't nothing. You have a friend that works on Capitol Hill, what you said?
Yeah. Yes, my best friend. She works on Capitol Hill, like for the government. Right. So, and I think like you wouldn't even, and she's from Brooklyn, right? Yeah. But the average kid growing up in Brooklyn, they're not thinking about that, because that's not what we see, right? We're thinking that's for Biden and them. That's not for me, right? I don't like politics, right? So it's just like seeing people who look like us in different spaces is going to inspire us, especially when we're young, when they're young, you know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, that's a role model. I could look up to that person. They look like me, they come from where I come from, and they're doing something that I want to do. So now that person can mentor me, that person can guide me, that person can help me. So that's what the Young and Dumb show is. And of course, like when you're young, make a lot of dumb mistakes, so we talk about that as well.
I like that, Young and Dumb. That's catchy. That's catchy. I like that. Okay, so Financial Revolution, that's your company. So what are your long-term plans and goals with your business?
So my long-term plan and goals is to, one, create like a media company, right, where I have people who are coming on and like providing news to people about things that matter, right? So like actual good content. And my another big goal of mine is something I'm working on right now, is creating a community for young people, right? Like I'm just thinking about like my younger self, where like I was inspired by so much, but like I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it, right? So creating a community where young people can actually learn whatever skill set, learn whatever business, learn whatever career, whatever it is that they want to learn how to do. They have a community, they have a place where they can learn, connect with people who are in those industries, right? And bridge that gap between that young person growing up and that adult that is already in that field, and making a connection. So that we can have more successful people who are in the Black community that are becoming something and actually actualizing their dreams and their goals and their ambitions. That's
cool. That's real cool. I did notice you had some pics on your IG with Troy Rashad. So do you know them personally or what?
I mean, like, they know my name. I know their name. I was at their house before.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm working. Yeah, that's all I'm working on. Yes.
That's dope. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll hear you on Earn Your Leisure one day.
Yes, definitely. Yes, yes. We will.
So in the meantime, Aaliyah, for folks who want to catch up, who want to find you, who want to maybe check out what you're offering, how can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Financial Revolution. So that's just financial, FINANCIAL, and then Revolution, REVOLUTIONN. So yes, it's 2 N's, just Financial Revolution on all platforms.
Okay. And I do have, like I said, your IG, and I saw the link tree. So I will, in the show notes of the pod, list out your links that you want listed. After this, we'll talk about what you want listed in the notes. And I can put those all on there for you so that people will be able
no problem.
hit the link and so forth. So, like I said at the start, when I met you at Investfest, I found you very impressive. I know I want to take a podcast to talk, and I'm glad I did. I enjoyed it. Hope the listeners enjoyed it. And usually my co-host will say something wild right now and close us out, but I don't have that cachet, so I'm just gonna say, with that, y'all, you know what it is. It's Aaliyah with Financial Revolution. It's Jay. Please move on, y'all. We out.
Thank you.
D-Town, LA, NO, Florida, Mississippi, KC, MO, Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Show 'em what you stand for. Chi-Town, Tennessee, Carolinas, Alabama, Oakland, St. Louis, Detroit,